Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim. Thank you so much for the support. Hope you all are doing great. I came across these videos where these men were talking about why is it that when it comes to people that look like me, black people can never get a break. The fact that everybody is still calling them out to come and help out or to do something, not just only that, even still see some other black people calling black people to come out and do what exactly? Because at this point in time, I don't understand why we wake up and want to call black people out. There is no need. Leave black people out of this. Black people cannot center themselves. Black people cannot do anything. Black people cannot get break. There is nothing black people can get. Right? And now they will tell you there are allies. Talk to me if there is something. Forget about it. One thing I am sure black people know this too. They do not have ally. The best ally you have is yourself and your community. That is also one of the reasons why I keep saying the best black people can do for themselves within this period is to use this period to build ourselves, build yourself. Be your brother's keeper, your sister's keeper. Because for all these people, they got nothing good to do for you. Because the system that you are working so much to dismantle is also the system that they are working so hard to uphold. So how do you want to call the person an ally? How do you want to call the person to help? The best way the person can help is to scatter that plan you have to dismantle the system because they don't want that system to hold. Let's get into this video.
Something that I did not discuss, or at least I don't think I did, with the due process conversations that were being had and are still being had regarding people getting snatched up by ICE and these other shadow law enforcement agencies or whatever, is that there are people who want to kind of pivot that into, well, that's why black people need to be involved because it could be us. And some of these are black people who are saying this, and I'm like, I think a lot of y'all only see black people from the periphery and not the real, because that's what black people have always been talking about. People confuse the fact that black people were, protesting and speaking out against police brutality as it was just, oh, we don't want cops to kill us. Yeah, it was that, and we wanted due fucking process. Mike Brown didn't get due process. Eric Garner never got due process. Philando Castile never got due process. Sandra Bland didn't get due process. Excuse me, Alton Sterling, and the list goes on. They were killed by police brutality and police misconduct, true, but also robbed of their due process. So 5 years ago, when Ahmaud Arbery was killed, when Breonna Taylor was killed in her home, and when George Floyd had a cop kneel on his neck in the public for damn near 10 minutes, we were protesting their deaths, but also protesting their lack of due process. Black people have always protested for rights. And so when I hear people try to throw that out as, well, we can't afford to step back because, it could be us. It's always us. And that's what's so frustrating. Some of you, I need y'all to get with people who are truly in the hood. There's a lot of you that don't understand that the true struggles for social justice in our society start in the very places that many of y'all don't even want to be. It is the downtrodden, the people that even other black people tend to look down on. Like, a lot of y'all confuse going to a nice, sanitized, white-centered protest as protesting the movement. You're not talking about the black people who go to city council or school board meetings to raise hell or walk down the street with the threat of bodily harm by law enforcement. You don't think about that. You don't think about the fact that a lot of black people are sitting there trying to figure out how to keep themselves and their children safe, while also trying to figure out how to fight against a system that they are woefully under-resourced and under-supported to fight against. Due process was one of many rights that black people have been fighting for. And if people who said they were in alignment with us, who were in solidarity with us, understood that, then they would also understand that's why we vote the way we do. But too many people want to put their political privilege and their personal privilege above the greater good. It was always due process. It was always about others. Because the only way that black people could truly say they got anything in America is if we show that it was about more than just us. Civil rights wasn't just black rights. Malcolm X criticized it because it didn't say that. The only way we got civil rights is if we could make it seem that other people would get the rights that we had been denied as well. So I need people to really think long and hard before they offer these critiques of black people deciding that, we're sitting down or we're critical of other efforts. Truly. TikTok. Here's a scenario, a couple of them. A woman, or man for that matter, is in a relationship with their partner, and they decide, after a period of time, that the relationship is not working. They've done everything they can, from counseling to, speaking in plain terms to, trying to set up, guidelines, all the things. But they see that no matter what, their partner does not respect them, does not respect their boundaries, does not support them outside of, the bare minimum, does nothing to truly uplift them, and is very selfish and takes more than they give. And after an extended period of time of this happening, they've just decided that they don't want to do that no more, and they decide to end the relationship, marriage, whatever. Would we understand that? Another scenario. Children who grew up in a household where their parents literally mistreated them at every turn, forced them with the old adage of do as I say, not as I do, tore them down at every available opportunity, weren't there for the milestones of their lives. And when these children became adults, they decided that they were not necessarily going to have a close relationship with their parents, even though their parents said, well, I'm your parent, you need to respect me. Is the child wrong? Now, with both of those two scenarios that I gave very loosely, do we understand why the individual, the man or the woman in the relationship, or the children who become adults, would walk away from a situation? Do we understand that? Even though we may not know everything, but we know enough to know that in both instances, the parent, the man and the woman, and the children who become adults have gotten tired of a pattern of treatment that has never changed. We understand that, right? Why is it so hard for people to understand when black people say we're done and we're tired and we're stepping back? Why does that become this massive talking point of what black people should be responsible for? Why is that now a question of our humanity and not a question of how our humanity has never been taken into consideration? Why is it that black people are expected to give? Because guess what? That's what we've done. We give with little to nothing in return. And yet we get chastised because we decide to set a boundary and say, not again. We didn't say we were going to fuck everybody else. We said we're going to focus on black people. If you know us as a people, you know that even in focusing on us, we don't lose our humanity. But for the first time in arguably a long time, black people are centering ourselves. And there's so many people that have so much to say about that. It's truly disturbing.
Why everybody hollering about let's be allies and let's be allies and let's do this and let's do that? First of all, let me say, I really appreciate, but I don't appreciate y'all white folk getting on my video yesterday and reporting my shit and got it taken down, got it banned or whatever, got it stricken from the fucking record. Good job. I touched the nerve. So I'm glad I did. Now, this young brother, 300-pound black man, truck driver, Charlotte, North Carolina, April 26, found him lynched. 300 fucking pounds, big brother. Last name is Casier, Casier. They lynched him. Now, of course, you know they ruled it a suicide, of course, right? Look it up. It just happened this year. It hadn't been on the news and nothing like that. But for some reason, I love social media because it shows everything that local news do not. Now, one thing, my people, and I promise this ain't going to be no long video. I'm going to tell you this. If this shit was happening to white people, they would burn this motherfucking country to a cinder. Let that shit sink in. Just let it sink in for a moment. You see what they're doing when we do what we do to them when they do shit to us. You see what they do. You see what they doing to Carmelo Anthony. He's protecting himself. They trying to run him through the ringer. Brother Hinton that ran over that damn police officer. You see what they're trying to get him to. We're reactionary. I get it. I'm going to repeat this again. And I'm going after this. The stuff that's happening to our people in this fucking country, if it was happening to white folk, they'd blow this place up. Let that shit sink in. Docile ones.
White people, how do you expect us as black people to distinguish you, the good ones, from the evil ones, the mean ones? How do you expect us to be able to do that? If I look at a box of lemons, I can't distinguish which ones are very sour and which ones are not so sour. They all look alike. How do you expect us to distinguish your goodness from somebody's evil? It's difficult, right? It's very difficult. Quite similar to what this country has done with black people. Clumped all of us into one bunch. You see one black people, you know the whole race. And that's just not true. But this is how y'all have gotten down for so long that now the tables are flipped. And how does it feel? How does it feel? How does it feel to be judged before you even open your mouth? That's a white person. They're evil. They're going to hang you from a tree. They're going to physically assault you. They're going to call the cops on you. Those of you who none of that pertains to, how does it feel? I'm not able to distinguish. I get on the elevator with a white person, there's one thought, unless we have dialogue. But see, that's the thing. Black people, for many, many years, either because we've had to or we've been open to journey into your part of the land. And when I say land, I just mean your being in sphere, not your town. But we've journeyed into your towns. We've journeyed into your lands. We have a pretty good idea of who you are if we're interacting with you on an individual basis. But y'all don't do that. Y'all don't do that. And that's why you don't know us. Some of you do, but the majority of you have no idea except for what you get on TV and in the movies and in your head. So welcome, welcome to that ideology that if you're in a group, you're probably all the same. And now y'all got this new strategy of now black people are the racist and you're the victim. Really? Not all of you, but how am I to distinguish between those of you who do and don't? Black people are the racists. We're the problems. You're the victims. White men are suffering from DEI. It's just incredibly wicked, just wicked. As opposed to listen to the argument, you flip it, and now it, not all of you, not all of you.
You ever hear some smug liberal or red hat conservative say, pick a side, as if there's a damn difference? Like choosing between poison in a Coke can or poison in a Pepsi bottle. Same toxic sludge, different label. I say the whole damn coin is counterfeit. Saying Democrats and Republicans are two sides of the same coin ain't lazy or disingenuous. It is survival instinct. It is clarity. You either see it or you're still sleepwalking through this capitalist freak show. Let's talk facts. In 2024, Congress united. Yes, both sides, to pass the so-called American Competitiveness and Security Act, funneling $95 billion in defense spending to war contractors, while nurses begged for safe staffing ratios. Raytheon stock soared, while your grandma still dies in the ER hallway waiting on a bed. Biden signed it, Trump backed it, Pelosi and McConnell, same applause. Ain't that bipartisan enough for you? Then they passed a corporate tax simplification bill. Yeah, bipartisan support again, letting Amazon and Chevron dodge taxes through new innovation zones. Meanwhile, working families got hit harder at tax time because the child tax credit expansion expired quietly. Quiet like a knife to the ribs. You see, both parties protect capital. That's their religion. Red team lets billionaires hoard wealth by screaming freedom. Blue team does it while crying equity. But either way, Wall Street don't lose. BlackRock don't lose. We do. Tell me why the Restrict Act, the new surveillance law from 2023, got nearly identical support from Chuck Schumer, Lindsey Graham. That law lets the feds spy on you for using TikTok under national security. But it's not about TikTok, it's about control. And both parties cheered it through. You ain't free, you're just managed. Don't even get me started on labor. When rail workers tried to strike for sick days in 2022, both parties teamed up to ban the strike. Biden called himself pro-labor and still stabbed him in the back with a smile. That's not just betrayal, that is theater. That's professional gaslighting. And where the hell is healthcare? Oh, right. Blue team says, we'll study Medicare for all. Red team screams, socialism! And both quietly cash checks from United Health. Over 70% of Americans, red and blue voters, want universal health care. But Congress? Nah. Pharma lobbyists paid them to look the other way. Eugene V. Debs said the Republican and Democratic parties, or to be more exact, the Republican Democratic Party, represent the capitalist class. So no, I ain't lazy or disingenuous for calling out the two-party scam. I've watched friends die without housing, without insulin, without hope. I've watched billionaires fly private to climate summits while Appalachia floods and California burns. And both parties handed them the keys to the jet. You want real change? It ain't gonna come from Pelosi or Gates or Harris or DeSantis. It's gonna come from us. From unions, from abolitionists, from strike lines, from coalitions like People's Budget Coalition and March for Medicare for All, bipartisan grassroots movements they don't want you to hear about. Because if poor folks unite across race and party lines, the whole rotten empire shakes. So yeah, two sides of the same coin. But don't forget, the coin is being flipped by billionaires, and it always lands in their favor.
It's all I got from this video, and I am going to start by saying that I've been saying this in here, and I do not believe in allies, and there is nothing like black people do not have allies. The best black people can do for themselves, for their own great good, is to have one another, have each other's back. I mean, build each other. That is it. Allyship, I do not believe in it. Why? Because some will be like, oh, there are so many people that have been stuck with black people and all that. Yes, And the same way that there are so many people stuck with black people, also the same way that they flip on black people when they get the chance to. So if you support black community today, I will be appreciative, right? But I do not blow anybody's trumpet anymore, because I am trying as much as I can to learn from my mistakes, because some of them will today just for their likes and views, and tomorrow you will see them, boom, saying what I do not understand about my people. And this is also a great opportunity for black people. Like, we already know this, that to continue to build ourselves, grow by ourselves, and continue to do what we can to better ourselves. Like one of the brothers said that, the way black people are, they are like, I am your ally. Why do you not believe me? Why do you not? Like, how do you want me to single, like, how many people are, how do you want me to single out the good, the sour one from the, like, just like having oranges and you're telling me to single out the sour one. How am I supposed to do that? I cannot, not until I start testing them. You might be able to figure it out, or you may still not be able to figure it out, and all that. And the truth is that black people have fought for literally everybody, and literally everybody have fought for never fight back for black people. Yeah. Everyone is always very keen to say, why are black people resting? Why are black people not doing something? Why are black people relaxed at this point in time? Nobody should be relaxing. Black people have always been there for everybody. How many people have always been there for black people? Absolutely zero. And the way you all are, some of them, not every, because I know my 90 something percent and 80% are just chilled at this point in time. If any of you chooses to come out, if you choose to come out, that it's your own this and not, nobody forced you. But as it stands, my people are resting. And I love the fact that they are doing this wholeheartedly. When you work for so much, you sit back and you rest, right? Yes. So this is their period to rest. And I love the fact that they are resting. Black people cannot do anything. When black people try to center themselves, it is a problem. The same people that have been there for everybody all these years, just because they took a step backward to nourish and have a better view, understanding of them, so it became a problem. But I love the fact that you all are not listening to anybody. You made a decision and you are standing on that decision you made. I love it. I love it. The reality is that majority do not understand. I understand people always say both parties are the same, but I am not saying politics like they are not, but look at the two individuals that you all brought out. Are they the same? This is a question you need to ask yourself. The two people you brought out, are they the same? You absolutely know they are not the same. One meant something better for you. One wanted to do something for you. But jealousy or wanting to preserve your race or whatever it is did not, racism in fact, did not make you people see the fact that see far away. Or maybe you all knew, but because you all want to test run something that you all always test run something, it went in the wrong way. I do not feel bad for anybody. The only person I feel bad for are my own people. And that is it. And now the other brother is talking about lynching. Did it ever go away? It did not go away. And it's always amazing how you wake up to hear about lynch and chain, and then they tell you it's a attempted suicide. Like, they always look for a way to dismiss any case of lynching. And then you start going deep or start moving forward. You find out that it is actually lynch and chain. Now, let me tell us something. I am a black woman. I am an African woman, right? And it is very rare. It is not. Where I come from, it is abomination. Before you ever see somebody take away his own life, it is, I don't know the percentage. It doesn't happen. It is very rare. And if you ever see the person, nobody wants to bury it in the evil forest or something. I don't know if you understand what I am saying. Like, if you take away your life, you are going to be buried in an evil forest. And I am how many years? I have never heard till this. Maybe it happened back then. I can't remember. But presently, as it stands, I can never remember hearing where I come from. I am from the Igbo tribe. Go and ask. Yes, it is some, and not just only that. Igbos or black people do not wake up and themselves. So when people see lean and shame and look for a way to cover it up, I know what you people are up to. And I might try to, okay, I am going to say it anyways. I want you to know that a majority of black people, African Americans, are Igbos. It might not sit so well with you, but somehow, sometimes it will. Yeah. Majority of black Americans are Igbos. Not just that. Okay, now let me say it. Majority of black Americans, 80% of black Americans are Nigerian. 80, Igbo, Yoruba, and the Benin. Yeah. So, whichever way it doesn't happen, it's something that does not just happen. It's one out of I don't know how many million. So when people try to use that as an excuse, even black people also knew that it's not a thing. It is not a thing. But I am gonna draw this here because the video is already long. I was not until let me round it up. Not until both everybody, you, them, not even my people, because my people has always been, they are born ready for things to be better, to dismantle the system. Not until they are ready, they will continue to enrich the rich and continue to be poor. Bye for now.